Visionaries is proud to present its 22nd season on public television. Sometimes you read the paper and watch the news, and it seems like there's more bad news than good in the world. But you know what? It's just not true.
I at least can hold on to something, that there's something, maybe it's small, but there's something that I'm doing to make a difference.
It's just a feeling that you have. If you can help people, you have to. There's no alternative.
Every child has potential that we just can't know. And so, to my mind, that's what we're doing. We are saving potential for the future.
One of the great paradoxes of the human condition is that the success of helping others is sometimes determined by what we do not give. Essential skills that sustain communities, leadership, problem solving, consensus building, can't be bestowed like gifts of food or medicine. Carol Bearhorst discovered this truth as a young physician who moved to Guatemala in 1959. We take you there now so you can see for yourself the incredible impact his nonprofit organization ALDEA has had by trusting Guatemalans to solve their own problems.
A lot of people hear the word Maya, they immediately think of archaeological ruins. A civilization that existed 500 to 1,000 years ago. But the Maya didn't disappear. They didn't disappear when they were conquered by the Spanish. The Maya population continues to comprise approximately half the population of Guatemala. Guatemala society today is still built upon an exploitative colonialist relationship. When the Spanish came, the Maya were forced to provide labor to Spanish plantations. And this history of exclusion and discrimination continues to frame a lot of what is there today.
It's very complicated to break this cycle. In the communities where we work, we have 100% of the population living in poverty, about 60% living in extreme poverty. Extreme poverty in Guatemala means to live with less than $1 a day. So it's empowerment what makes them be ready to fight for their rights.
We like the word aldea because it means village in Spanish, and it's the most typical way in Guatemala to refer to a rural community. But if you break it down into its letters, it's advancing local development through empowerment and action. The essence of the program has always been to find the ways to help people define what they want to work on, what they want to address in their communities, and to find ways to help them pull together and get it done.
My grandfather, Dr. Carol Bearhorst, founded the organization in 1967. My grandfather came to Guatemala in 1959 as a Lutheran medical missionary. What he saw through his travels was that in rural areas and predominantly indigenous areas, there were basically no medical services being offered.
¿Cómo está su estómago ahora?
By 1962, he had gone to Chimaltenango with the intent of trying to establish some type of clinic. Chimaltenango at that time was predominantly Kachikal Maya.
I remember the first time I walked into Doc Bearhorst's office in Chimaltenango. He had a handwritten saying on a piece of paper in a frame propped up on the back of his desk. And it's from Lao Tzu, and it said, "Go to the people, live with the people, learn from the people, love them, start with what they know, build with what they have. At the end of the day, they will say, we did it ourselves." Doc reminded me a little bit of a Santa Claus. He was short stature, a little bit round. He had white hair. He was just so gentle, and he was so approachable. He developed very profound relationships with the Cachiquel. Doc really respected their values and their beliefs, their focus on family, on land.
They're concerned with today. I mean, experiencing today, enjoying today, and sure not concerned about what happened yesterday. And also they're not sure worried about what's going to happen tomorrow.
Out of that respect, I think he learned so much about their possibilities to begin to solve their own problems, despite the fact that they lived, in some ways, in such an impoverished setting.
My grandfather opened his clinic in 1962 in Chimaltenango, and they were seeing an average of 125 patients a day. It wasn't long before he realized that people were also starting to return with the same illnesses. He recognized that, no matter how many times you cure somebody, if they are going back to the same living conditions, they're going to be exposed to the same risks and potentially come down with the same illnesses that they had before.
Curing diseases wasn't really meeting the total challenge, because it's health and sense of well-being affecting their whole being. And you had to think about many other things that affected their life, like nutrition and food and sanitation, making more resources available, improving their agriculture.
When he looked at how do we prevent illness, it wasn't only asking people to change their behavior or wash their hands, for example. You can't wash your hands if you don't have access to water. You can't keep a homestead clean if you don't have access to a latrine. You can't keep your children from getting pneumonia if you don't have a low smoke stove. Ten years ago, ALDEA helped form a local Guatemalan organization, ABPD, with the idea that we would be sister organizations. The staff of ABPD are all Cachiquel. They've grown up in the culture. They have become experts in their fields. The way our programs work on the ground is in a very integrated way. So it's great if you have somebody who's an expert in water, but we really don't want the expert in water to be working independently from the staff member who specializes in women's participation and empowerment. We want those women with a voice in the water committee.
Vamos a la comunidad de Cho Antonio. Básicamente partimos de las necesidades que existen en la comunidad.
Chronic malnutrition is another issue. We have communities with 95% of children suffering from chronic malnutrition. Chronic malnutrition is a very complex problem. It's not just a lack of food. We have found that education is a big issue. People think that giving only corn and beans to their children is something good. It's a lack of hygiene and sanitation conditions. People don't have a latrine, people don't have a drainage system, people don't have access to drinking water. They drink water from any pond that they find with contaminated water.
Esta es una letrina que está hecha por la familia y que no reúne las condiciones adecuadas para ser considerada como una letrina formal. También podemos observar la caída o el recorrido del agua. Son aguas grises. Las familias lavan la ropa o también los utensilios de cocina en el patio. Los niños, ellos juegan en cualquier parte de la casa y en ocasiones llegan a estos lugares donde se ponen en contacto directo con las aguas grises. Al momento de tocar toda la superficie y estas aguas, ellos a veces sin lavarse las manos se llevan la comida a la boca, provocando así problemas gastrointestinales. Entonces eso provoca que los niños bajen o disminuyan de peso. No crezcan o no sigan creciendo en su talla. Un sumidero donde podamos recolectar toda esta agua gris y llevarla a un lugar seguro para que no dañe la salud o la nutrición de los niños y el resto de las familias.
A veces pensamos que no está, digamos, el 100% para tomarlo, pero solo ese medio hay para tomar el agua, entonces lo que hacemos nosotros es servirlo. Y cargamos a 10 a 15 veces para que podamos tener bastante agua.
Another problem is people don't have enough land to cultivate. They have many children and they can't feed their families. So family planning is another issue that you must work on.
Azul cherir palaj, shabachka, shashen kayar color, ha, irish nichar, achke chivachirish, kikoten, y achke chivachirish, de yochbuson, ha. Achke kame utsrere, uts kame hunstan 14 runak ochkernech, entonces si viriri uts, o si vitze.
Yo voy como visita domiciliarias a los hogares. Pregunto a la madre cuántos niños tiene y si alguna vez ha planificado. Ella me dicen que no, porque el esposo no quiere que ella planifique. Le brindo plan educacional sobre los métodos de planificación familiar, así como los derechos que ella tiene, que puede elegir un método, y que salud es un derecho de la mujer también, no solo es de un hombre.
más fácil un aplauso y Camilla Kashajarje.
So we're headed to the ALDEA of Shepanil. It has around 225 households. We've been working with Shape and Ill for almost 2 years, and they will graduate from our program in a couple months, which is the goal of ALDEA in working with these communities, is that we understand this is a collaboration, a partnership, and that at some point the community will take over. Shape and Ill has completed all of the sectors in our programs. They have the water taps in the households, latrines.
Clases, violencia ko. Dihulchik, violencia sexual.
The female empowerment programs.
Kohunchibek ashparbit violencia sexual.
Rinaes tas PPD babe, rinaes tas anca rinaes han elegir promotoras.
Que tu promotora, como quiere decir, coja a cargo, chiquivar aldea. Por ejemplo, otras capacitaciones, nish pechequero y rojo y cancitar ribinaqui.
Antes, ahorita shocker y grupo chingishoque, rojo, jing más bien dicho. Maglunta chveo más este y para el cachuajo grupo que chishoque, pero con el tiempo su club chve ya lang ut sin acá porque atcochua grupo un grupo que chishoque más fácil ta, pero con el tiempo un fácil chabuch porque vishoque char ko apoyo kikin y que participar kikin.
Y de babe, cuando gelo tzano. Cuando dibujo se catsana cabeza, ¿no? Que najin ni chay, dejó violencia física.
Más gari, su club cheque, porque como se van a elegir gari aldea, gari comunidad, gari se no elegir kuching y kita más gari chka que rojo y shoki chka con modo yo hok coja derecho, si yo que chka bajo grupo, si rojo shoki chka tiene que yo han valorar. La chat tiene que ellos que valorar rojo y shoki porque rojo chka yo tikir más se te que rojo junan que kira cha.
Y para el shock de la piel, de cada fila, de la piel, de shock no casar de pelota para el jolón. Entonces, de ducan y shock, ja chuche de raken, cojo de raken chic, no casar de pelota. Camille, de la OJ, ya que de asociación PPD. Hanila katsnel para salud, porque Camille cada cuenta che, no gel jalater, ya cuala majuya ya vuelta chiqui, tanto rojo y shoki y de cada familia, Camille con utska salud.
Siempre, ¿verdad? Monitoreamos mensualmente el crecimiento y el peso de los niños.
They have been able to reduce the rates of chronic malnutrition for children under 2 years old dramatically. They were at about 90% of children with chronic malnutrition, and now it's much lower. They are in about 60%. And it's decreasing all the time.
Este lugar es muy especial porque aquí está el tanque de distribución para la comunidad de Shepanil. El agua viene de un manantial, le llamamos nosotros, es un nacimiento. Es un agua pura, es cristalina, de montaña. Viene por allá, son 4 kilómetros y llega a este tanque. Llega a las familias, nosotros hicimos el diseño, que los chorros son muy efectivos y llega con mucha presión. Ya solo abren su chorro y tienen agua a las 24 horas.
A mucha gente que nunca se imaginó tener el vital líquido, que es el agua, en el patio de su casa. La gente, los vecinos, hasta a veces lloran al ver ese beneficio. Y es de agradecerle a BPD.
Last 10 years, we have worked with about 100 villages, built over 60 water systems, about 7,000 latrines, stoves, and grey water filters. Worked with over 2,000 women on community empowerment, leadership, on chronic malnutrition. So we know that when we leave these communities, they are going to keep on working on all this that they need for their families.
Y en el caso de Chepanil, los comentarios que han hecho es que no pueden creer de que en enero se termine el programa con ellas. Pero ese día va a llegar y la satisfacción, como les decía, o el sentimiento más fuerte es poder haber dado un granito de arena en el desarrollo de su comunidad, contribuir con ellos. La emoción más fuerte es de emoción de dejarlas empoderadas y que ellas puedan seguir adelante.
Our dream is to see one day one of these people who are working with us now, maybe the babies, maybe children, in the future, being the president of Guatemala, being part of the Congress, making decisions for the whole country, but not a normal president or not a normal congressman. There are people who have learned how important communities are, how important women's rights are.
I think things have changed enormously. I think Indigenous people are finding a stronger voice. I think more Indigenous people are going to university, and you see this emergent, much more vibrant leadership that you knew was there, but it was not allowed to flourish. I remember in June of last year, a group of ALDEA board members went to a village to have an opportunity to engage with community members. And there was a group of women promoters who had been trained by our local staff. And one of the women said, "Now that I have learned so much, when I look in the mirror, I see a beautiful woman. I see me." It's so powerful, right? Because here's a woman who felt obviously rather invisible, silent, and now she's feeling her strength. And I just thought, yes, that's what it's all about, is helping people find that voice and feel empowered, that they control their own future in so many ways.
I
feel incredibly fortunate to be a part of this organization, and that when I was asked to come aboard, there was just a moment of gratitude. To be given the chance to continue working with the organization that my grandfather founded, that continues to work under his philosophy and the principles that he established with that.
As I think ahead to what might the next 50 years look like, I hearken back to one of Doc's favorite sayings, which was, "There's a lot to do. Let's get going."
2017 marks ALDEA's 50th anniversary in partnering with Mayan communities in rural Guatemala. For the Visionaries, I am Sam Waterston.
Visionaries is brought to you through the generosity of Honda, Cambia Health Foundation, Eustace Kwan Family Foundation, First Nonprofit Foundation, Massimo, CGIAR, Friends of the League Foundation, Newman's Own Foundation, Group M, Inner Workings, Gustafson Family Trust, Dr. and Mrs. Dennis Gustafson, with additional support by Grand Island Chamber of Commerce, the Bill and Mary Hall Fund, Hall County Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Nebraska Tourism Commission, Citizens Commercial Banking, the Herman Family Foundation, Andy Goodman, Deborah Pate and John Forrest, Diane Deshawn, Friends of Becoming Independent, the State of Norman Chalmers, African Development Bank, the Ernest L. and Ruth W. Finley Foundation, Paul and Deborah Cleveland, Piari and Richard Moser, MD, Nigerian Government, Cornerstone Legacy Foundation, and Louise and Hank Leander. And from the phone.